Okay, next up I'm going to make a cashew cheese that everybody seems to love. I know we love it, and whenever I keep it in the refrigerator all the time. As soon as we run out, I make up another batch because we put it on sandwiches, we put it on burritos, we put it in my lasagna. We use it for almost everything, and I think the general consensus at church is that everybody loves it. So they want this recipe, and I'm going to give it. Its main base is cashews, and if you can get raw cashews, you want to use those. But there again, if you don't have access to a health food store or you don't order them online, you can still use the roasted ones that you can get from a regular grocery store like Walmart. You can rinse the salt off, or you can back off on your salt when you are making the recipe just a little bit. The trusty Vitamix. This thing is wonderful. If you're trying to go vegan, I highly suggest that you get either a blender with a warranty or a Vitamix, because it really does a good job of getting the graininess out of nuts and seeds. That is my 2 cups of cashews. And now with the water, basically what you want to do, it says 1.5 cups plus water. You'll find that some seeds and nuts and seasonings vary as far as how dense they are, so the water can range a little bit. So what you want to do basically is add a little bit of water, just enough about to cover the cashews, like that. And then you want to save the rest and add it as you go, because you don't want it too watery and you don't want it too thick. So you don't have to do that. You can go ahead and dump it in and it'll thicken up in the refrigerator. But if you're particular about the consistency that you want to put it in slowly like this. Next is 6 tablespoons of nutritional yeast flakes. Again, this is a health food item. Get it from a health food store. It's made from molasses most of the time. Next is a 4-ounce jar of pimentos. These are just pimentos in water. Some people think that these things are pickled, but they're not. That's not vinegar, it's water. And you can leave this out of the recipe and you'll have like a white creamy cheese instead. It doesn't change the taste, believe it or not, a whole lot. But if you want like an orange cheese, like a Mexican or an Italian cheese or cheddar or whatever, this is what you want to use. I have 1 tablespoon of flaxseed, and on your recipe you'll see that it says optional. Flaxseed has lots of omega-3, so I try to use it as much as I can. It even thickens up the cashew cheese a little bit, but you don't have to use it. It doesn't change the taste. It gives you little brown specks in the cheese, but that's not a big deal. Next is 3 teaspoons of salt, and you can change this to your liking. You can add more or take away some if you're trying to stay on a low sodium diet. Next is 2 teaspoons of dillweed. Dillweed is just a regular spice that you can find in your regular grocery store. I didn't know that when I started this whole adventure. Next is 4 teaspoons of onion powder. And then a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. And then 4 tablespoons of lemon juice. If you have a recipe that you found on the internet or whatever and it has vinegar in the recipe, you can always use lemon juice to replace it. This is 4 tablespoons. Okay, and then you just blend away. And I'm going to tell you, when you're working with seeds and nuts and you're trying to get a creamy sauce, like with the millet butter, you want to make sure that it's really creamy. The best way to know is that if you think it's ready, to take your finger and wipe way up here where you're not dipping your finger in the sauce and feel it like this. And if it feels grainy between your fingers, it's not ready yet. So you just want to keep blending. And you start low and then go to high. You just add very little just to keep it going. Let them get a couple of each for the sour cream and for the cheese. Now I'm going to check it to see if it's grainy. It's just a little grainy. I could serve it like this and it would still taste great, but with the cheese you want it really, really smooth. So I'm going to turn it on for just a few more seconds. Be sure you get a couple of pieces because that is for the cheese and for the sour cream that I'm about to make. So you may want to get some chips and vegetables. And we have another tray in the refrigerator, so. Okay, and that's it, the fabulous cashew cheese.